Hello guys, this is Kobe here with another not so quick analysis. This time I'm gonna be talking about Parivision the Ancient. I know that I haven't been very active on the social media, this is because I have doing a lot of stuff, and we are in the major. Parivision currently sits on the 1 and 2 bracket. They haven't been played Ancient after all, but with the BO3 starting tomorrow, I really expect to see them playing the map. Because there is the default pick, they play very well, they have a good approach and read it to the map. After all, this is a map that they can play in the WP on the long range duos with passive setups, waiting for the T's movement. And also on the CT side, they play sometimes aggressive. But anyway, let's show. Starting with the names of the player, just to understand how I pronounce each name and don't get confused. AW, BELCHONOKK, Jame, Nota, and Cielo. Now moving on to the CT profile. Their main idea of the CT for them is to control mid. This is their main characteristic, and also multiple plays from the CT side gonna transition into this control mid. For this, we're gonna see Jame on either top mid and Donut, Nota playing this position. And after all, they need to play multiple positions with the WP because remember, Jame is the central piece of the team. He may not be the player with the most ratings, with the most skills, but his ideas on the map, his positions, is what tells Parivision story. They play pivoting around Jame. And for this, they will play also the WP on the cat room on an unorthodox position. Very few teams play like this. It's very rare, even among the tier 2 teams, that is very common. But they also can play in the top position with the long, on this angle right here. So this is the main positions for the WP. And to close out the profile, remember, this is James' team, so it is a passive team. They will wait, they will save the economy. 2v3 positions, always a save. 3v1, oh, of course a save. Even 4v4s, I saw them saving positions with the CT side. That is crazy for other teams to understand how far they go to save the economy, how far they will play this long game. And now, always this is a double-edged sword because, well, you have economy for every single round, but you could win some others round if you take little just risk. Moving on to the default. Default is very clear as I said. Jame top mid, Nota on the Donut. They will start with the utility with a Molotov and then a smoke on the lower mid position. Very default for the CTs on the Ancient, there isn't much new. But something that I really like about Parivision on this default control is that BELCHONOKK on the A side, he doesn't play the traditional A anchor role, that's gonna be playing on the back plat position, the tempo position. No, he plays near the A main entrance. He's waiting for the duels, he's waiting for the end flash that the cheese will throw in a rush position. With a smoke inside the bomb side. He plays waiting for that. And what is the gimmick about this? The gimmick is that BELCHONOKK, it is in a safe position and close enough to Nota to rotate back to them, even though Nota it is on the Donut position and Nota it is their most active play. So he is near enough to Nota and also far enough from Jame to divide the aggression because Jame is controlling the mid alone. And how about the ramp position on the B position? Well, as I said on the profile, they play passive. So you're gonna see both Axielo and then AW playing on this very far behind position instead of the cat room player. They play from behind, with the two players right here. And in order to make this control effective, they need to waste a lot of utilities. They need to throw these Molotovs and keep them alive. They keep these Molotovs on the second round of utilities after 30-40 seconds of the round. They will throw a second row of utilities. So that's why we see Molotov ramp and then Molotov in the box. Now moving on to the AWP Long. This is also a very common position that I really like on how they play. And recently, against the BC game, they played a shift position. They're going to be talking this because this is a minor variation that I think they will repeat this minor variation during the major. But moving back to the position. As I said, Jame on the long position. Fully control the ramp. That's why I already showed this cycle in the ramp because they give this moment they give this place a lot of attention, way more than other teams, because we see that we have a secondary player to close it, so they have the AWP plus a rifle on the position. And see, there is no utility, and there is a bait. Even though it is a cheap bait, it is one. Sometimes the teams, when playing the rush moments, when the major it is with the stakes high, you catch them in these small moments. That is very interesting because no utility, the teams think that are safe and then jump on the ramp. Well, you jump on the ramp, you do the standard Molotov near the KVGT, the secondary flash open in the side, and then you have the WP plus a rifle. You die, moving on the ramp. And since they already have two players on this control, their catch room players can move more freely. So he can up on the catwalk position, close out the ramp, and that's why the utilities are on the side. On the mid and A side, well, very standard position. One Donut, and as I said, BELCHONOKK playing on his default anchor position for the Parivision. Now I will just erase the arrows to show that what the minor variation I saw during the BC game that I think that is interesting. We saw a shift from Nota to play Jame's position on the long, and then James playing on the top position, top mid. So they give up Donut space in order to have 3 rifles on the B side and then WP on the mid. The consequences of this play, I thought that it was because of Simple, because Simple plays a very active AWP and also a rifle. So they want to check Simple in this position and have the third rifle for them. On the major, we doesn't have Simple, but we have a lot of other WPs that can exploit this position. So I think that in the BO3s following up tomorrow, if they play Ancient, Jame will play top mid. Not necessarily on this same setup, but top mid will be very common for them. Now the AWP Cat room. This position, very weird. I don't know if a lot of other teams on the tier 2, tier 3, and even tier 4 do this because it feels bad sometimes watching this. I saw the demo and thought, no, this is wrong. I even have to watch the voice of the game because I thought that the demo analyzer that I was using had the name swapped. And the reason is that you doesn't play this AWP only with a flash. When you have these investments on the cat room with your AWP, you have 2 mid, 1 A, 1 B. Instead, Parivision has 2 B players. One in this cheeky position right here behind the box and a long. It is rich, but I do like it. Even though it feels bad, I do like it because think with me. They control with the Molotov, so the T's aren't going for a fast rush. They will waste the 30, the 40 seconds of the round, moving on, starting on the map, and then engage. When they engage, you are expecting a rifle. So a quick scope, 1 kill, another kill. And what is happening on the mid and A side in order to this work? Well, we have BELCHONOKK on the top mid, Nota on the Donut. So they give up A. A has no one. You can enter A without anything. See, they give up the A side to fully control mid and B, forcing the T sides to move on the ramp. But something that I must say is that even though the cat room is unorthodox, other teams use on late rounds. Remember, I showed the positions on this not so quick analysis for early round moments and then rotations and adaptations. So early round, you doesn't expect Jame WP. When the round has 20, 30 seconds on the clock, you expect the WP there if you haven't seen the WP. And since Jame is hiding, you can imagine that someone's there. Not necessarily in the cat room, but also in the cave position, near the bomb side, near the short. But the also point that I want to show is that James' position is on the long, so he doesn't expect him on the short. And the natural rotation for the cat room player, even with a rifle, it is short. So pay attention for this if you play against Parivision, or if you're a fan of Parivision, because this is a very cool position and wins around a lot. Now to the last position with the CT side, the AWP Donut. And the AWP Donut comes with an advantage for Parivision. I don't know if you are first to here with the Parivision roster, but Nota used to play on the Rush B team. And when he played for Rush B, I guess it was last year, They played fast. Nota had another style. And when he started to play Jamie, I was worried about him because he's an excellent player. He had good ratings, he had good results. So he lost his aggressiveness. And in this position, it no, it gives like I was back in that time watching him playing for Rush B. Because he goes full aggro. You have a flash, a Molotov, and a smoke. He plays the mid alone, he closes the position, he goes for the aggression. BELCHONOKK is covering him from top and mid, so once again they give up the A side. Three players full control, full aggression on the A side. This is the opposite of Parivision philosophy methodology, if you per se made to talk like this. And I do like it. This is very good. You break the game, you break the hitman, excellent for them. Now for the counterplay, how you should be playing ST side against, oh sorry about that. How you should be playing ST side against Parivision CT. Well, you play fast. The fastest way to think to play against Parivision, it is a rush. You block the entrance with one Molotov to avoid no other rotation from Donut. You throw a flash to kick out BELCHONOKK in this position, and then go for 2 players on the A side. Sorry, 4 players on the A side. That certain position when you have one here, another here, and with a lurker on the mid, maybe a lurker on the ramp, and engage. For also another position that I really think that the team should be doing is to challenge mid with the catwalk. So how you challenge mid in this position? Well, you have your 2 players on the lower mid position, the 2 players on the ramp to close out this part of the map. So we really force Parivision to react to your plays, since they already give up the... Oh, sorry about that. So since they're already giving up the cat room space, we start moving this space. And how we exploit oh, sorry about that. And how do you exploit this space you have in the map? It's by drawing a line right here. With this line, you move your players to the top mid and then to the backside, engage on the B. So just to remind, A side, quick rushes. If you doesn't want to play fast, you control mid, you challenge the catwalk, and then engage on the B side. I really doesn't recommend you going on the ramp. I know that ramp it is easier access, have a lot of choke points to engage, but do you really want to face Jame in a good day in the ramp? I don't think so. At least I don't want to face Jame if he has a good day. But if he's playing poorly, well, why not? Exploit your play's weakness. There's nothing wrong about it. Now for a quick break. It's weird to see this because I usually have good numbers on the videos, on the people subscribing to the channel, but I think that I haven't recorded videos for like 10, 12 days due to the work, due to doing a lot of stuff, side projects, and it feels bad. But well, that's life, how it works, unfortunately. But let's move on to the T side. No time to cry. Once again, just reading the names in case people are jumping out to the T side. AW, BELCHONOKK, Jame, Nota, Cielo. The profile is very simple because Parivision has a great methodology to play the T side. They control mid the same way they control the CT. If you look to the T profile and the CT profile, the only difference is that we have the A pressure because they play almost exactly in the same approach to the map, Controlling mid as default, having Jame play all the positions that he can play on the map, Every viable position he plays A main AWP, he plays lower mid AWP, he plays ramp AWP. So you give Jame enough space on the map. And also, this A pressure that I wrote right here is that you should be playing on the A side as Parivision. Parivision really reacts on this part of the map. They aren't a team that goes only for quick rushes. They have slower rushes. They have also gimmick attacks on the A side with the AWP. So you expect to see a lot of aggressions on the A side. Now for the default, the control mid. Well, as I said, Parivision wants to control mid. And in order to do this, they have Nota plus Jame right here. So they exploit, the space in the smoke to trade some duels. They throw the Molotov behind the box right here. So they remove the plain click in case there is a AWP in this part of the map because it is very frequent to have a AWP. Like Monezi plays this position with Falcons. And then smoke top mid and open Donut. With Donut open, the players will control Catwalk with both AW plus Cielo. So they control Catwalk, they control this part of the map and engage. The way they will transition in this position, as I said on the counterplay, on the back side of the map. It doesn't necessarily engage on the ramp, even though we will see AW sticking up in the ramp for long periods of time, just giving the shots, throwing some utilities, being annoying, making chaos on the ramp, always making the pressure for the CTs to have their angles on the short, on the long, on the cave, in this part of the map, that's why I'm gonna draw some arrows. So when the CT is flanking, sorry for when the Parivision T side flanks, they will get off guard. AWP Ramp. Very interesting position because AW White here has the job to throw the utilities, to throw here, 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 and then move along with the team. Because once again, they will control the mid, they will control the catwalk position. They will establish this control. But this time with the WP on the opposite side, on the B side. And when we have Jame on the B side, the difference between this and control mid is that their attack won't be happening by the top mid, by the flank position. No, you can ignore this part because their main attack will be ramp. See, Jame on the B, you follow ramp, the WP, and then engage. Jame on the control mid, they first really control catwalk, try for the duels, and then flank on the position. But the main route of attack, it is B side. And that's why I want to talk about this position a little bit more, because they're very similar, from the AWP ramp to the control mid. But Parivision must have a better economy. Otherwise, this play won't work. You must have the 4Ks and a AWP and lots of utility to this work. Otherwise, AW is a -1 on the map. After all, he stays a lot of time on the T-spawn, controlling the utilities, controlling the rotations. So you have this 2-2 position. Now for the AWP B position, A position, same approach. Control the catwalk. That is how a Parivision plays. And now we have this extremely nice combo from BELCHONOKK plus Jame, because BELCHONOKK are playing a lower position, nice lower position with Jame. First, Jame opens the duel in this part of the map. BELCHONOKK's follow. Then Nota, that is a very active player, plays more passive. He breaks the hitment of the game in order to Nota always have the option to rotate back with AW. Because Axialo will rotate on the ramp, you make chaos. Remember, one player always making chaos on this part of the map. Parivision values the chaos created on the map, because this is in these moments that Jame really thrives. When there is too much stuff happening on the map, Jame can separate the good part, the bad part of the information. This is what made Jame this excellent IGL. This is what made him won the major here in Brazil. So with too much stuff happening on the map, Jame knows what information is viable. And that's why they want to always overload. And that's why Parivision really must save the economy, really must play slow, because they need to have these utilities to make chaos and win rounds. So this is a snowball game, You win the first round, you run second round, you build just the economy, you have the utilities, and then you throw utilities to make noise. Now for the last position on the T side, that is the A rush. I know that when you talk about Parivision, we doesn't expect fast plays, but every single team must have a fast play. And the fast play route for Parivision, it is the A rush, because they can play also this slower position, but more commonly in a fast approach. For players, utilities on the flash, a Molotov, a smoke, maybe a Molotov right here, or a smoke and it's part of the map, and engage. there isn't much to say about these rushes because you play fast, you throw the utilities. The only thing that I want to highlight is that AW can play both positions. He can play on starting in this lower mid and then rotates on the ramp, but he can also play the opposite way. Start going on the ramp position and then rotates back to the mid. See, he plays this lurker, this side lurk off the pack position. Either start mid to see what is happening on the mid, to see what utilities are the CT throwing on the mid, and then go ramp to check what is happening on the ramp, or start ramp to see the first utilities there to see if they're throwing the classical CT double Molotov, one Molotov here, another Molotov here, closing up the CT's movement, sorry, the T's movement in this part of the map. So either way, AW moves. Now for the counterplay. Well, in order to play against Parivision, you must run the A anchor and B anchor in a deep scenario. And what I mean by deep scenario is that you have the safe point. And something that I think should take up as lesson ranking for Parivision, it is the BELCHONOKK position on the A side. I do think that anchor in this part of the map instead of the off angle behind the box, it is better. I prefer this engagement. That's why these counter plays are similar to the default play from Parivision, because this is the right thing to do against them. Like the best way to break a good defense, it is, and it's not this like the popular saying, with the only the best sword can break the best shield. There is a popular saying about this. I remember from the anime Senseiya, Zodiac, Cavaleiro do Zodíaco, Senseiya. Anyway, moving back. I know that I'm talking about nonsense stuff. Have your anchor playing on the A side. Have your Donut player to play on the rotation. Not a fully aggressive Donut player, because other Donut player like Nico plays on this part of the map, like Nico, I forgot the name, Kyosuke. You play on this part of the map. No. Have your Donut player playing on the rotation, playing as a secondary anchor. And the reason why you have to make these two anchors on the A side is that Parivision attacks the A side more frequently than other teams, In other teams, you can pull out with only one anchor, without an anchor, because, A sides are to attack and teams prefer to ignore it. Parivision, no. Parivision likes to attack in both slow-paced and also fast-paced attacks. So have your anchor and A side player, Donut player, be together, be in sync. For the top mid player rotation, you can have it right here. Yes, you can have, but I don't like it because you need to rotate a lot. On this hard, on the B side towards the long, towards the short position. On the A side to get out to the rotations from Parivision on the A side on a fast movement. So maybe have your rifle on this part of the map, and then make your AWP plays as anchor in this part of the map. Maybe even a Donut on the short position, on the long position. No, whatever. But top mid, not my favorite position as AWP against Parivision. Against other teams, other scenarios, I do like the top mid. I think that provides a good cover from the map, a good control on the mid, because you doesn't need to keep challenging the T mid from Parivision. It doesn't necessarily Parivision moves on the catwalk. Why you're going to have your players in this part of the map? No, ignore this part of the map. You know that Parivision players will be moving. Oh, sorry. Let me just erase these arrows and swap the colors. Oh, sorry about that. Right here. What color should I use? Red? No. No, let's take an interesting color. Yellow. I think yellow is gonna gold one. Let's see. Yes, this one. We know that Parivision will have these players on this section of the map. So why the hell are you gonna be wasting your resources on the mid position? Right here. Why you waste your utilities? No, ignore this part of the map. Let Parivision move in the map. Because they aren't activing a lot, just moving the catwalk. As long as they doesn't progress forward on your side of the map, here, 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 and here, you're fine. Parivision is just burning their time. So let them move. And then when they start to engage on their part of the map, erect. That's why this mid rotator, it is your key player. Because he rotates in the two players here, two players here. He makes the +1. That's why it is very important to keep your mid player alive. You shouldn't be peeking, even though Nota plus Jame plays on the default position. Yes, they play the default position as part of the map, but do you really want to keep challenging them instead of make your B player live? Sorry, your mid player live? I don't think so, but that's my opinion. And that's it, guys. Hope you enjoy. And sorry about not being very active on the content side. I know that sucks. And to be honest, I didn't watch the first day of the major. And Brazilian team went better than usual because we always have an 0-3 Brazilian team, but this time you have a 3-1-1 and 1-2-0. But today's the results have been bad. They lost to FlyQuest, they lost to Fnatic, and that's it, guys. It happens. Brazil has good teams on the stage 2 and 3 also, with Pain, with Furia, with MIBR. Bye bye.